Welcome back for another 5-minute market update. BTC continues to chop sideways in a very tight and very bad way. Anytime that Bitcoin starts to get in a really tight range like this, yes, it means that alts will run, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. But this is bad for BTC. Just like it was bad over here, we get these basically 0-day closes, whether it's slightly red or slightly green. It's not a good sign. I also want to remind you, daily volume is still not looking good. We want to beat volume, meaning we want to see volume exceed this yellow line, and we haven't seen that happen since March 11th. If we look at on-balance volume, yes, we're slowly starting to see this blue jagged line, which is OBV, cross above the moving average, but it's still pointing down. RSI has successfully tested overhead resistance, but it has not pushed above it yet, which is okay. But again, I'm looking at price action looking weak. I'm looking at weak volume. And I'm also over here on the 4-hour time frame looking at these recent TBT bearish divergence signals, and getting two of them right next to each other is not a good look. Just so you know, when we get lots of these together, it's basically saying, hello, McFly, hello, over and over and over. So we want to be more on the cautious side with BTC. And if BTC starts to crumble and it starts to fall, that's going to cause a lot of pain in the market. Now, looking at BVOL 7D, it fell even more yesterday. It's now at 4.47, which is right smack dab in the middle of the bounce zone. Now, when we see BVOL 7D shoot up and out of this bounce zone, that's typically a signal of more bearish volatility to continue. Short-term bearish, but eventually we're going to see BTC recover. So this is letting us know, along with price action and low volume on the daily time frame and TBT bearish divergence in the 4-hour, that we should expect volatility to increase, bearish volatility to increase for BTC. Now let's look at a couple of altcoins. Solana has fallen back to this newly conquered overhead resistance line, but has not fallen below it yet, which is actually a bullish thing. We can see as well that the price is inside of the daily cloud. Still, this is a really good thing. Looking at on-balance volume moving up, that's bullish. We're not seeing actual volume exceeding the moving average, but we are seeing strength in RSI. So when BTC has a pullback, which I am expecting to have happen, it will unfortunately mean that Solana and lots of other things will drop lower. But so far, so good for Solana. BNB tested yet again overhead resistance. This has been a level that's been quite difficult for BNB to break above, and it's tested it and pierced it so many times. I don't expect it to push above it today, but it is interesting that it keeps struggling to push above this specific level. Now, one thing to bring your attention to is Tron, TRX. We're seeing a TBO Close short printed on the daily time frame. TRX is actually an amazing hedge against bearish conditions. This chart barely flinches when things get bad. When we typically see an increase here for TRX, it's usually when the market starts to get a little bit shaky. So this is, again, another weird little signal that I'm looking at going, okay. Now, in other good news, we'll try to focus on some positive things. Pi Network actually had an RSI cross up yesterday, which is good. It did fall all the way down below the 236 Fibonacci level, but I believe we could be seeing this as some sort of level of support. I am expecting it to continue to chop, and of course, if BTC falls, Pi will fall as well, but this is a nice start. Ton coin had a nice push up above resistance yesterday. We've seen on-balance volumes moving average be moving up, but what's changed since the last time I charted this is that volume has increased a lot. We want to see this kind of volume for BTC, Solana, and all those other majors. We're not seeing it right now. So this is a great push above this overhead resistance line. That's awesome. SUI closed a TBO Close short yesterday, which is great. We don't want to chase here, but we could look for an entry at the TBO fast line, the pink line right there at about 250 on a pullback maker, pushed above, out and above the daily TBO Cloud, which is looking really good. 4-hour time frame, it did print a TBO breakout cluster, which is a really good sign. BERA This one is actually pushing up higher on the 4-hour time frame. It has breakouts. Yes, it has a TBD bearish divergence signal. Honestly, this is pretty amazing, but I would be a little bit more cautious on this one, expecting the market to fall not necessarily that far, but you could definitely use A/B trading strategies on faster timeframes with BERA. And last but not least, JASMY has a TBO Close short cluster on the 4-hour time frame, and it's had it many times before. So I'm a little bit skeptical about this being the bottoming signal. We're not seeing any bottoming signals at all anywhere else, but the price has fallen a lot. It's fallen significantly. However, it could still fall a lot lower. Real support for JASMY is actually down here at 0.008. Now, a couple of you were asking about this. You'll note if you go to our website, yes, we have a new bot trading strategy that we're really excited to share with you next week, but I can't give away any details. Some of you have asked on the Better Traders Club. I can't say anything, but next week you'll know more, okay? By the way, speaking of the club, if you want access to the TBO, TBT divergence signals, all the fun stuff that we got in there, and a fantastic community, join the club. We have 4 different tiers. If you're a crypto cheapo, starter is going to get you doing just fine. But if you want access to the TBO, join the trader, TBT divergence, join the pro, and keep your eyes peeled for next week's new bot strategy. And until then, be careful about BTC. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.